Hello, my name is Sunnie Bottin and I'm a graduate of the class of 2024, Leadership Douglas County in Castle Rock, Colorado with the Chamber of Commerce. I was able to give the speech the day that we graduated, and I'm here to share it with you today in the hopes that you'll be as inspired as we were as a class. So here we go. I decided to talk to you today about the inspiration behind the Leadership Douglas County class and how we can all take that inspiration moving forward. When we first met on that cold, rainy weekend nearly a year ago, we were shuffling our feet and sipping our coffee and probably wondering what we'd gotten ourselves into. But Jolie came in and she kicked us off, and I just realized right away we were going to have a blast. She led us through several icebreakers and a lot of connecting activities, and she made us feel a little uncomfortable and a little silly, but it worked. We bonded and we had so much fun, and it got us out of our comfort zones, which we needed to do. For the rest of the retreat, our guards came down and we relaxed, we warmed up, we got to know ourselves a little better, and we bonded, and it was just wonderful. There was outdoor camp room accommodations and no internet and not much sleep, but it was great. Our second meeting, we talked about our service project and how incredible that was and what that will mean to the community moving forward. And you got to hear Marcus talk about that, and it was amazing. After these first two meetings, we met for a third time, and that's where we really began to learn about our community leaders and how they make our lives literally better. Each month, we were offered little nuggets of knowledge, sometimes surprising facts that we'd never considered, and a lot of times really deeply impactful truths that I think we'll appreciate for years to come. As I looked back over my notes and reflected on how I was so inspired this year, so many things came to mind. I loved learning about how clean our water is, the true cost of power, funding differentials in education, county by county, what the morgue smells like, what a hero the coroner is, what my emergenetics type is, which my husband said was very helpful, how Native Americans carved hearts into trees to express their grief, and they still stand on public lands today. I would really like a second chance to beat Sean in the police simulator. I loved how comfy the buses were and how great the food was, how the police dogs were so funny and well-trained and incredible. I loved learning about the scientific research about traffic roundabouts and how they really do help. I was very touched by the elected officials and how deeply they truly care about their constituents. And I really loved learning about how there's so many options for recovery and people who need treatment in this county, but there's also a huge need for volunteer assistance. And that's really just barely scratching the surface of what we've been exposed to. We had a lot of fun, we learned a ton, and yet as I pondered all of this, I realized my biggest takeaway was repeatedly learning about servant leadership and how much that is everywhere in our county. Every leader, every class we took, I saw servant leadership. And for me personally, this was a huge surprise. I've lived in Douglas County since 1998. I've benefited from every single industry that we've learned about over the last 11 months. For example, I've raised 4 kids in Douglas County schools. I've enjoyed countless hours of recreation in our parks and open spaces. Obviously enjoyed clean water and electricity at the flip of a switch. I've called emergency responders to my home. I've seen them in action out in the field. I've cast my vote without fear. I've rang up horrifying library fines. Thank you for banishing those, Douglas County libraries. I've benefited from the nonstop residential growth that has sustained my husband's business for the last 2 decades. Yet before this class, those are just a few examples. I'd never even thought about them though. I'd never been grateful for them. And now today, a year later, after spending so much time hearing from them and seeing their investment and their sacrifices, and the pure joy in what they do, I can honestly say I have a deep appreciation for their contributions. Every single person that we heard from in the last year has gone above and beyond the call of duty and the reward of their paycheck to make a difference through their work. This is servant leadership, and this is what is so inspiring. Because servant leadership is a style of leadership. It prioritizes the needs of others over oneself. It says, I'm going to intentionally do what's better for you before I seek my own greater good. It's a mindset, it's a behavioral practice. It makes everything better. And we are surrounded by servant leaders in Douglas County. We live in one of the safest, cleanest, most beautiful, naturally preserved areas of the country. Don't come at me for saying that. If you don't believe me, sign up for Leadership Douglas County. You'll learn it. You'll be amazed. Given how inspiring this information is and how I've been so inspired, I know that all of us will move forward as better servant leaders ourselves. That was the point. I've thoroughly enjoyed my time with all of you. You're funny, you're kind, you're smart, you're intentional, you show up, as do the leaders that we've heard from. I hope that as we move forward as a class and as a community, we will serve each other and live out our class mission, which was to grow and to serve so that we can have a positive impact on the community, strengthening everyone to be resilient, vested, and engaged. Thank you.